What's up, guys? This is Keenan.
And this is Kate.
Welcome to Magestore Podcast, Retail's new normal series. Each episode shares stories about how retailers are recovering and thriving during the COVID-19 pandemic with loads of retail operation, tips and tricks, lessons, and customer behavior during or post-COVID. So the real question is, are you ready to adapt to the new normal?
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today and listening to our very first episode of the Retail's New Normal podcast series. And the topic for today, as you can see from the title, that is Retail Insights in the New Normal. And we will go through a lot of insightful trends in the retail industry. And today's episode, I'm here with my co-host Keenan, and we are over the moon to have guest host Miss Riley today with us. She is a retail expert from Magestore Company. So hi Riley, thank you for joining us today. Can you introduce yourself to the Retail's New Normal audience?
Hi Kate and hi Keenan and hi everyone. My name is Riley, the business consultant manager from Magestore, and I'm very honored to be here today. And thanks for having me.
Hi Riley. Can you tell us more details about the job at Magestore and explain a bit more like how do you get retail insights from your customer?
Sure. So it has been 5 years since I joined Magestore and started working directly with retailers in all sizes from the world. My daily job is to meet with retail companies to understand their concern and identify the gap between their expectation and the current situation. This really helps me understand what's going on in the retail world.
Okay, so you are the one who always listens to business requirements from retailers. You probably have an overview of what's going on in the retail industry right now. So what are most highlighted trends that you see among retailers during 1.5 years of the pandemic? Can you, share with me and the audience today?
I believe that is BOPIS options, in short for Buy Online, Pick Up in Store. Buy Online, Pick Up in Store has gained serious adoption, with 68% of US consumers having made multiple click and collect purchases, according to data from Dotto sent to Business Insider Intelligence. Buy Online Pickup in Store encompasses curbside pickup and also ship from store, a relatively new option that gets items to you faster by shipping from your nearest store rather than from a warehouse.
Yeah, I think it totally makes sense when you say buying online and pick up in store model became so popular among retail business. So in your opinion, why did they decide to adapt to buy online, pick up in store?
First of all, in coronavirus pandemic, took care of the shift toward e-commerce. For example, at the end of quarter 2 2019, e-commerce represented only 10.8% of US retail spend, but in quarter 2 2020, a year later, amid the height of pandemic lockdowns, e-commerce spending surged 44.5%, its biggest quarterly growth in 20 years. And in the situation of social distance, and the customer does not want to pay their shipping fee, so pick up curbside will be an option. And a survey in 2019 found that 48% of people who use Buy Online Pick Up in Store did so because of the lack of shipping costs. And secondly, 85% of consumers who have used Buy Online Pick Up in Store say that they have made additional unplanned in-store purchases when picking up an order placed online, which is one of the most main reasons that traditional in-store shopping is advantageous to retailers. And finally, Buy Online Pick Up in Store is more profitable than other omnichannel services. It gives retailers the opportunity to offer a small discount or other incentives to encourage customers to offer Buy Online Pick Up in Store option, creating a win-win for both the customer and the business.
I definitely agree with you. Consumers are increasingly asking for more flexible delivery options right now, so it can be a smart move to make curbside pickup a part of your business. And I understand that to offer curbside, you need both a place for customers to order, which is an online store, and a place for staff to fulfill the order, which is an POS at the physical stores, right? So I believe many Magestore customers had already implemented this solution. So what are their thoughts on both piece? Do they see any huge changes at all?
Yeah, you're right, Keenan. So later last year, I actually met a retailer with more than 20 stores in Canada selling fast foods. And the order amount, for each customer is normally low, around just tens of USD dollars. So normally the customer would go to the store and buy the food, but while pandemic, the stores are not allowed to serve in-store customers. And at the same time, the customer are unwilling to pay additional, up to 20 or 30% of the order amount just for the shipping fee. And in that case, the owner had to launch the store pickup options. And you know what? After 3 months of implementing this new strategy, the result in 20% in revenue growth of their business compared to the same period last year.
That's pretty awesome when retailers become so flexible to adopt new models and also trying their best to grow even in the pandemic. And with all the advantages that you mentioned, I think buy online pickup in store is definitely the most effective and safe and beneficial during COVID. But any other key trends that you see retailers also try to adapt to get the business going during COVID?
Yeah, I also saw a lot of retailers, inject innovation to omnichannel experience. Customers flex between channels now more than ever, and it needs to be reflected in how retail operations work. And besides that, I also see retailers, focusing on personalization. 2020 or 2021 are not just, going to be the year of digital consumer. I believe it will be the years of more informed, connected consumer who has higher expectations for personalization service and the ability to transact in every channel. 79% of consumers say the experience a company provides is as important as its products and services.
Alright, gotcha. So companies need to up their innovation level in their whole omnichannel experience to keep up with modern customer, while paying a very close attention to personalization, making customers feel the importance of the business. And so, do you think there are more trends about this?
I would say there are two more, trends. The first is that the retailers need to embrace an actual operation model. The pace of change in post-pandemic environment will force retailers to continually reassess their strategies. This approach requires more real-time insights on customers as well as a new actual operating model to harness these insights and put them into action. At the time of pandemic, everyone cares much more about their health. So the retailer needs to pay attention to transform store operations to win on the safe X as well. So safe delivery modes are increasingly important to consumers. Winning on safe matters in both digital and omnichannel.
Wow, that's a lot of cool insights that you mentioned. So I know that those will bring a lot of benefits for the retailers in terms of improving their operational model. But I'm curious about what will be the challenges for them if they follow those trends in the future.
In such a situation, all retailers understand the why already, and now the retailers are still juggling with how to overcome the challenges. And I would identify into three specific how questions. The first one, the retailer will wonder, how can I deliver the right message at the right time to the right customers? In other words, it means how to unify all the data into single source within customer engagement platform. And then how can retailers deliver meaningful one-on-one personalization, or how to break down channel data silos for a more complete understanding of the customers. And last but not least, how do retailers create more unique opportunities to interact with customers? Another question is that how to leverage data and analytics to create more customer engagement opportunities.
Okay, all the points that you share, I believe, will take a lot of time to make the changes and to see the results. And we all know that many countries are controlling the situation pretty well, and also the mass population vaccination. That's why we see a lot of stores reopen, and probably they will expect a retail system or platform that will fit the new normals. So as a senior business consultant for Magestore, do you have any advice for them to choose the best fit solution for the reopening?
Okay, when it comes to a solution or the system for retailer, based on on the business that I had just mentioned, the answer could be an omni-channel solution that would meet the following requirements. I would state here like just 5 important elements that an omni-channel solution may satisfy them. The first one is a multi-channel synthesis solution. Okay, for the different channels that the retailer will sell. The second factor is about consistency that allow data centralized in one place. And the third one would be inventory management optimization, always an important aspect for all retailers. The next one is to engage customers' loyalty. And last but not least, about scalability. That a system can provide extended API system that offers retailers the chance or the opportunity to scale up in the future.
Okay, so it means that if businesses had struggled during COVID-19 and even now during their recovery, they can either find new system or still using their current system, but definitely consider adding these new channels to their current business operations, right? So say if it is BOPIS or adding a completely omni-channel experience or new loyalty programs, for example. So I have just one more question for you. Which way would be easier for retailers to do? Find a new system or try to add new features to their system?
Yeah, right. Keenan, actually you can have more last questions, but regarding what you have just asked, I think it would depend on what they currently have now. When I work with the retailers, we shall together identify the fit and gap between the current situation and their future expectation. Based on that, we see the pros and cons of each approach, like find a new one or try to work on the current system. Normally, adding to the current one may be like cost saving and also time saving in the short term. But if it cannot serve the long-term plan, or if it's hard to meet the requirements of a good omni-channel solutions, like 5 factors I mentioned above, the retailer could consider to switch to a new one, totally a new system.
Thank you so much, Riley, for joining us today and for all of your answer. I think I get a lot of new knowledge about retailers, and I'm sure that the audience today as well.
Yeah, that's right. I think that is so much of insightful and also detailed ways and information that I believe it will be so beneficial for all retailer out there, like who experiencing hardship during the pandemic. So we still want to ask Riley so many questions, but I think the podcast is getting a bit long, and we want to keep more exciting things, in our next episode of the Retail's New Normal podcast. So. Yeah, we really had a good time with you today, Riley. We have a good conversation about retail insights, and again, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks, Keenan and Kate, for inviting me. I'm very glad to be on the podcast today. I also hope that we receive more, ideas from the audience, so we can, continue to discuss further and get more insights on the retail world together.
So that is it for this week's episode of Retail's New Normal. Thank you all for listening to this episode, and don't forget to follow us in your favorite podcast app that you're listening to and receive more content from us about retail insights. And of course, don't miss our next episode. Make sure to also visit our website Magestore.com, where you can also learn about doing retail the right way with all the tools and knowledge that will make your business a success. Once again, this is Keenan.
And this is Kate.
Wishing you a happy podcasting.
Bye.
Bye.